So, fun fact from this week, Brooks. Do you know it's the first time since 2020 that every bird team won this week?
ATL rise up. You know my birds do it. Plus, we got it. Oh, oh.
Yep. Well, we've got a lot to talk about from an action packed week in the NFL, so let's jump right into it.
Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth. Nothing agreed. We have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned and buckle up.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys today. Week 2 of NFL is in the books. We all have our 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0s. Baron, I got to ask you, how you doing, my man?
Feeling all right.
Just feeling all right? Why all right? Your team has moved to 2-0, beating off, beating the Super Bowl rematch Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot to talk about that game, so I'll put it on hold so we can get into some other stuff first. But yeah, I've got some stuff to say. But your Falcons pulled out a narrow victory.
I was gonna say, this feels like one of the, well, maybe it's not rare actually, but we're both coming off a victory this week, which is good because, I mean, I have to admit you are more coming off victories than I am, so I'm a little more happier probably than you are because it's more of a regular feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to blaze the Eagles, all that, but funny enough, actually, I was looking at NFL regular season win totals.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at the start of the season, the Eagles to win 11 and a half games, that was their line, was plus 109 to win 11 and a half games.
Has that gone up?
It's gone. It's still 11 and a half, but now it's minus 110.
And on ESPN, it's 12 and a half games.
On my bookie, which pause, it is minus 110. So I threw $53 on the Eagles to win over 11 and a half games this season. Already starting at 2-0. And you still have 2 games against the Giants, right? Still have a game against the Cowboys, which could be tough. But the Cowboys are a team, right? You still have some tough ones, but even the tough games, I like the Eagles at home to pull them out. Like the Rams this week. We'll get into that in next episode. But the Rams, that's a game where it's a team that is 2-0, a team that is NFC West, probably division favorites now, and I'd still like the Eagles to win that one. Not comfortably, but would definitely put my chips on to win that football game.
Yeah, going into LA. It's crazy we're going to LA twice this year.
That one's at home, I thought.
We do not have a back-to-back home. Oh, yeah, that one is home. You're right, because we just played away. Yeah, you're right. But, yeah, the Eagles don't have a back-to-back home game at all this season.
Which is crazy to think about. I'm trying to remember if the Falcons have a back-to-back home game this year. They probably do. But, yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of travel.
A lot of back and forth. So we'll see how the team manages that. But we don't want to just talk about the Eagles all episode.
No, we never do.
Exactly. We want to diversify it up a little. Don't want to be too biased on our show. But let's just jump right into the matchups as I pull them up. Actually, since we're not picking this week, we'll just go over it next episode.
Well, let's talk about this week that happened, week 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's start Titans-Rams.
That was one of my 2 survivor picks. Do you know my 2 survivor picks this week?
I feel like you said the other one, but I forgot.
That's good. That's going to make a good conversation.
Oh, boy.
I picked the Rams in that one. It was 13-10 going to halftime. And then the Rams finally found their footing, especially on defense. Got the job done. Devontae Adams touchdown sealed it. I officially like the Rams to win the NFC West completely. I think I can just lock it down. I can lock it down. The NFC West is the Rams. I'm putting a Chuck guarantee on it.
Okay. They've easily looked the best through the first 3 games. The 49ers are already banged up. I mean, they just pulled out a narrow game against the Saints, so be that as it may. The Seahawks, yeah, we'll talk about them in a little bit. And who's the other one? The Cardinals, who we'll also talk about in a little bit. But I think you're right. I think the Rams have certainly proven that they're the best team through the first 2 games. But let's talk about the Titans as well. They look good for most of that game, I'd say. They kept it pretty close. for a lot longer than everyone thought they would. And Cam Ward, I mean, does not a bad game per se. His offensive line wasn't doing him any favors. 5 sacks. So maybe some of that's his fault. Needs to get the ball out a little
Not
faster.
true, but also the expectation that we talked about, especially at the Week 1 game as Broncos, he's going to get sacked.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get murdered. If the Titans, especially looking at the first 2 games, there's a lot more to go, but the offensive line will have to be something they invest in if they want to keep Cam Ward happy and healthy.
Mm-hmm. And they had that crazy touchdown throw too.
That was if he's gonna win Rookie of the Year, that's what they're probably gonna show. It's already Week 2, but that is a highlight they will show.
Well, I just think if you're a Titans fan, I feel like you can't really walk away from this game too defeated. Your defense kept you in this game against a playoff team for most of it, and your rookie quarterback made some good plays, didn't turn the ball over. So I think there's some bright things to come in Tennessee, but yeah, couldn't get it done this week. Moving on. Jacksonville Bengals. Now there are a lot of games that were very close this week. I think this was a great week of NFL football. A lot of these games were one score up until like the last couple of minutes. So, and this was one of them. Jaguars Bengals. I'll let you talk about that one.
That was my dog of the day, as y'all may know, and that was one where honestly in the first quarter I was ready to call it. Even with Joe Burrow in the game, I was ready to call a Jags win. The fact Jake Browning comes to the game, throws 3 interceptions, and the Jags don't win. I mean, and I was gonna pick the Falcons as my dog of the day too, but I went with the Jags, and my oh my, was I wrong on this week as usual. So
yeah,
unfortunately, you had the heartbreak in Week 1. I had the heartbreak in Week 2.
That's right. Yeah, this one just came down to offense just being sloppy. There were some bad drops. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he threw 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions on top of that. That was a very up and down game for him. There were some plays that you're like, okay, yeah, this guy can get it done. This guy might be legit. And then there's other plays like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you throwing that? Like, do you see that one pass? Like that one interception they called back because he like was over the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So you can't be doing that, especially when you knock it. I mean, not saying that this is like hoped for or anything, or this is a good thing, but when the opposing starting quarterback gets knocked out of the game, you need to take advantage of that. And yeah, the backup comes in and diced up your defense, like you said, but still throwing 3 interceptions. So I think this is going to be a good learning moment for the Jaguars. I know there's still like a young sort of core. So I think that'll be good. Liam Cohen is the rookie coach, so they'll move on for this. But yeah, that was their game that they lost. That was their game, and they lost it. We won't spend too much time on this next one. Ravens annihilated the Browns
as expected.
Yeah, I thought it would be a close, low-scoring game. That was not the case. Ravens needed to bounce back after last week, and they got it.
Derrick Henry.
Wow. I kind of expected it.
You expected Derrick Henry to have 20 yards?
Not maybe that bad, but I didn't think he was like
Bills game, but like 20 yards.
Yeah, because the Browns have a good run defense. The Bills don't.
They do, but 20 yards for Derrick Henry, very surprising.
No need to force it when everything else is working.
No, it's also proving why Bijan's a top 2 running back in the NFL. But that's a conversation for another day.
I mean, it's not. I don't feel like that's a discussion. This one, we'll also not spend too much time on this one, except the fact that the Jets still suck. Last week was a fluke, and we'll talk about the other side of that game last week here in a little bit.
Also, Bills' defense stepped up, so yeah, good for them.
But yeah, that was a blowout, 30-10. The Jets were never really in that. Now, this is where I have to make a formal apology. Not a full formal apology, but I will apologize and refrain from stop saying that they're the worst team in the league, because they almost beat the Patriots this week, and that was the Miami Dolphins. I'm playing at home in the warm weather, so who knows if that's a factor or not. But that was a close game. I think the funniest thing that came out of that, I don't know the guy's name, but I saw someone on the internet who was reacting to that game like live, and he was like all hyped up after their touchdown or their punt return, and then when they kicked off and the Patriots immediately returned that, and he was like getting all upset and angry. I thought that was hilarious. But
That was hilarious. I saw
um,
it too.
yeah, Drake May. Um, how do we feel about him so far?
Week 1, not as good. Week 2, good. But also, again, we're going to talk about a little bit about the 4 o'clock games, but this defense of the Dolphins gave Danny Dime a stat that was literally nobody had done in the 21st century. So I am, again, it's week 2. Drake May, good job. It's a momentum week. Build off that momentum. He's still going to be that guy, but he needs to prove it against another defense. It's got the Steelers defense upcoming.
Oh, that shouldn't be a challenge, from what I've seen. On the other side, Dolphins offense. I mean,
Tyreek Hill needs to go. He needs
Yeah.
to go. It's that simple. He's pissed. The Dolphins aren't good. He needs to get traded. I'm telling you.
My question is: are we now? How worried are we about the Patriots defense for allowing this sort of offensive production?
Still worried. Still worried because his team was not good at defense last year. Vrabel was supposed to come in and fix it, and it's
They
still
spent a
not
lot of
looking
money
great.
this offseason on
They
their
did,
defense
and
too.
it's still not looking great. So I'm still concerned about the Pats, and I am still kind of out on them right now in terms of a playoff team.
Yeah, no. As of right now, that division's only sending one team.
Yes, I agree.
But this is another, like we said, close game. 49ers and the Saints.
Mac Jones, baby. He did his job.
Yeah.
He's a game manager and he managed the game and they got the win. A scary game once again. Rattler 0-10. I might take the Seahawks in my survivor next week. So because they're playing the Saints at home. But yeah, the Rattlers 0-10 as a starter.
Yeah. I mean, what more do you expect from a guy like that?
Facts.
He hasn't really been good at any level of football, so.
Because he went to South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, not only that, he had like one good stretch of 6 games or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, I would not say he ever looked good as a football player compared to his peers. Anyway, let's talk about the game of the week. Giants Cowboys.
This was my other survivor pick. I picked the Cowboys. I think I lost 10 years off my life watching this game. Whoever is passing the football, just say hello 300-yard game. I love to see you because that secondary is abysmal. And also, when you get rid of probably one of the best pass rushers of the 21st century and you put him on another team, you kind of lose some of that pressure that would get onto Russ or any quarterback against you that would not let him throw for 460 yards.
I think that's why they signed Jadeveon Clowney 30 minutes after the game ended.
Quite literally, after the game ended, it said Jerry Jones has signed Jadeveon Clowney. Like the one time Jerry Jones is proactive.
Yeah, this was a great game. I have Brandon Aubrey in 2 leagues, so that's all. That's what I was loving it. That's the one time I'll ever cheer for a Cowboys player. But yeah, Russell Wilson. That interception was heartbreaking.
It was an arm punt, but literally in the fourth quarter, for everyone that watched, every time Russell Wilson cocked that football back and threw it deep, those passes aren't like 50% completion balls. Those are 30 to 35%, if that. And every single time I go, this is going to be a catch. Like, this is going to be a catch. Every deep ball, I had that feeling. And then I finally caught up to him. But, I mean, holy crap. Malik Neighbors is him. And the funniest thing I saw was I saw Chargers fans say, thank God Joe Alt is good. Because they passed up on Malik Neighbors. Remember, when we watched the draft together, AJ was there, Chargers fan. I started laughing a little bit when they picked Joe Alt because like Malik Neighbors is right there. Is Joe Alt a good pick? Yes, Joe Alt has been a good pick. But I always have been high on Neighbors, and I think he's continuing to prove that.
I know he's a phenomenal player. But I don't think there's any question the Chargers made the right decision.
Neighbors and Herbert, though.
Yeah, but there's no question they made the right decision.
Joe Alt is amazing. Yeah, Joe Alt's really good.
I mean, let's take a look at Cincinnati, and I mean that's case.
Yeah.
that's case
Prime
A,
example.
B, C through Z
Yeah.
right there. That is
Why you
all the
draft it.
evidence you ever need to why you draft O-line before you draft receiver. Like
Mhm.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been on the same team for 4 years. They have a Super Bowl appearance, which is pretty good. A lot of people can't really say that, but outside of a Super Bowl appearance, they've had poor playoff success, or they just missed the playoffs outright. Sorry, can't
They got
speak.
good playoff success.
They've had one.
They went to the AFC Championship and lost to Patrick
Mhm.
Mahomes.
Yeah, I know, but who did they beat to get there? Besides I guess they did beat the Bills, but
Yeah, they beat the Bills. So
they had 2 good playoff runs, one pretty abysmal one, and then you just outright missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Another year. So yeah, I mean, granted, we're 1 year into Justin Herbert and Joe Alt, but Chargers look like they're gonna make the playoffs this year. So
exactly.
we'll see what happens. We'll talk about them here in a little bit, but yeah, Malik Neighbors is good at football though,
He's
and
good.
I mean, and I'll say this: if we'll see how Russell Wilson can maintain that sort of efficiency, but if he can
What's your
find
take
some
on
way
that?
to do it,
What's your take on that?
hmm?
What's your take on that? Do you think do you think week 1 was what Russell's going to be, or week 2 is what Russell's going to be? I know it was
So
crazy week 2, but more of better football.
yeah, so I think it's probably gonna be week 1. I think that was just unless he can find a way to ride the high. I mean, he statistically he had the best quarter of football in his entire career that game, which is crazy because you're talking about a 13-year guy who's going to go to the Super Bowl champion, who's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and he had his best quarter of his career in one game of his career this Saturday or this Sunday. So, I mean, if he can tap into that maybe a little more, like they'll win some games, they'll be competitive, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. Granted, they're in my division, but if I was not an Eagles fan, I would be excited to see what the Giants can do this season. But they're still gonna lose to us, so don't worry about it. We don't really need to talk much about this next game either. Ben Johnson got booed, and yeah, I don't think he really responded in any sort of way. That was a pretty bad showing from his team.
Yeah, and it really put to silence the Lions' question of
Yeah.
is their offense good? And remember after Thursday Night Football, I said let's wait for the Lions Bears game to see what the verdict of it.
Mm-hmm.
Packers defense might be like that.
Mm-hmm.
It might be like that. So now we have to put our hands up and say Packers defense. Whew, that's one that I'm scared to look at the entire year now for those first 2 weeks.
But I'm right there to agree with you. Who do the Lions play next week?
They play the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football
Okay.
in M&T Bank Stadium.
So I think we'll have a very good picture and idea of where this Lions team is after that game. Because while yes, they looked bad against the Packers and they looked phenomenal against the Bears, the Bears just might suck. Like they're just a cursed franchise,
Wait,
Brooks. They just might suck.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I really feel bad. I really do.
Yeah.
You look at their team on paper and you go, this team can make the playoffs. They
And
can
Caleb,
really do that.
Caleb Williams just isn't good. That's the problem. He's just not good.
He's had moments where
He's had moments, but it's moments. It's moments. You've got to turn him into more.
Like Rome Odunze's look good.
He did. He had a great game.
Great game.
But I have
Great
DJ
game.
Moore in fantasy football, and he was pathetic.
Yeah, I had Rome Odunze on my bench in one league, and then in my main league, I played against him.
Thankfully, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, so it was okay.
You're a lucky man. Lucky man.
But yeah, Bears suck. Lions are probably gonna be good, but we'll know for sure by next week. Now, this is what I was gonna want to talk about. This is the last 1:00 game too, by the way. Seahawks Steelers, and I said last week that the game against the Jets is not going to be a great tell about these teams for the season. We have to wait and see how the Steelers play against other teams. Is the Steelers defense really that bad, or is the Jets offense really that good? Jets offense is not that good. And I don't really think Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are that good either. And then we look at the offense. Aaron Rodgers threw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns week 1. And we were like, oh, the Jets defense or is Aaron Rodgers back? I mean, the Jets Jets have good defensive players. They're not scrubs by all means. And you score 17 against the Seahawks. This is a team that lost to the 49ers because of their defensive woes. I mean, they essentially, their offense put them in a situation to win last week. Their defense came up short against the 49ers, who was
But they're
not that.
also the one that actually had the ball last and turned it over with in the fourth quarter with
That is
40
true.
left. And
Outside of that,
also, I think the Steelers just beat themselves. Really. I mean, you look at the final score, was it 27-17?
31-17.
31-17. Okay. There was the Aaron Rodgers interception, which
Mhm.
bounced up and then he heard yelling at his teammates. And I still think he's kind of like that. You probably saw that clip where he rolled outside and he threw it 55 yards on the run right in the hands.
Yeah, that was a good throw.
And he dropped it, which was still a tough catch, but dropped it. Also, you have to remember Caleb Johnson had probably one of the worst bonehead moments in all of football with that touchdown on the kickoff. So this is a team that I think beat themselves. Again, previews are next podcast. They play the Pats, and they do not have a good history against the Pats, but this is also different type of Pats. So I think it's a good test to tell 2-1 or 1-2 is a big difference. In my opinion, it's a good way to tell if they're a 2-1 football team or a 1-2 football team.
Yeah, but I mean, take away that muffed or that bad special teams play, they still lost by 7 points. The Seahawks still would have scored 24 points. And again, we saw with Jackson Smith-Njigba is a good receiver. Cooper Kupp can give you some plays. He's not the same player, but he can give you some. And they have a very good run game. Kenneth Walker looked pretty good. Now, is that because the Steelers have a bad run defense? We don't know. But Kenneth Walker is by no means a scrub of a running back. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, still. But I'm not high on the Steelers defense this year. They don't look good. There's just a bunch of old veterans that are kind of assembled on one team. And, yeah, we'll just have to see what their offense can sustain. But I don't know. I think – and I saw some people online saying they were missing George Pickens this week because DK Metcalf had some bad drops.
He did.
He did not have a good game. I know he had that one touchdown, but he did not have a good game.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, let's move on. Another contender for game of the week, Broncos-Colts.
Broncos robbed.
Okay.
Indiana Jones 2-0. Good start
That's
for
right.
the Colts.
That's right.
Been a pretty solid quarterback. I'm still not 100% sold just because of the history of Daniel Jones and all that. I know it was the Giants, but 2-0, first time since what? Is it 2009 or like 2011 they went 2-0? What a start for the Colts. And they had some pretty good plays when they needed to. So good offensive showing. I still think they got lucky with that penalty call. Maybe it's a little bit biased because I had Eagles, Broncos, and parlay that would have won me like $50, and that hurt. But yeah, a win for the Colts.
Yeah. How do we feel about that roughing the kicker call?
When?
Or is that not how they got the re-kick?
No, it was impeding the center, like jumping over the center.
Okay.
And you look at the video; they weren't directly jumping over the snapper, and it's a whole thing. But
okay.
Got the job done.
I didn't see the penalty because I was watching the other screen, the other game. But I just saw they got a chance at a re-kick, and I was like, wait, didn't they miss it? And then I saw it go in. I was like, what? And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna question it. Good game. Daniel Jones, MVP conversations. Let's push that agenda. Now this is the second part where I formally apologize. Or I guess not apologize, but admit that I'm wrong. The Panthers are probably the worst team in the league. Still, if the Saints are going to win any games this year, it's going to be against this team.
It's a rough one. I mean, that offense only showed life when they were coming back in the fourth quarter. But
there's no run. There's no run game. The offensive line's putrid. And yeah, Xavier Legette, everyone's kind of starting to figure out he's really not that good at football. He's just a big body.
It's not a good look for them.
Yeah.
And also, I can tell from week one. I mean, you're playing the Jags. No offense to the Jags. Again, they're not the standard in football. and you played like that, that's all I needed to see, really. That's all I really need to see.
And then going up against a Cardinals team who no one's high on. Granted, they're 2-0, but
They're 2-0, but they beat the Saints and the Panthers.
who
And
are the
week
two worst
3,
teams in the league?
they play Mac Jones and the Niners.
I think they're going to lose next week, but
I think
we'll
they
see.
might lose next week as well.
We'll see.
But
We'll
it's a
talk
game
about
they
that
can
next
win.
episode.
It's a game they can win.
That is a game they can win, but we'll see what happens. Going back to the NFC South, it's gonna be another long season for the Panthers.
It's going to be a two-horse race in the NFC South.
It's gonna be another disappointing season for the Panthers. And at what point do you say enough's enough? Sell the team, relocate? I mean, I don't think the Panthers have been relevant in 10 years since that Super Bowl where Cam Newton failed to jump on top of a football. And, yeah, I mean, genuinely, what have they done? They've gone through how many quarterbacks? I know the big thing. We'll talk about the Monday night games at Baker Mayfield here in a minute, but the whole thing is how the Panthers had this guy running scout team defensive end, and look at him now. Maybe you could have drafted someone. Maybe you didn't need to trade up for Bryce Young. Should have kept Baker Mayfield and taken a receiver or offensive lineman. So, Panthers are also in contention for probably one of the worst ran organizations in the league. We'll see how their season ends, but it probably will not be good. And finally, the last 4:00 game is Eagles-Chiefs. Is there anything you would like to say about the game, Brooks?
Again, I hate the Eagles. I was rooting for the Chiefs. I had money on the Eagles.
Audio's not working. Or maybe it is. I just can't hear you. Hold on. Maybe my audio cut out. You can keep going
I would
for a
say
second. Hold on.
that the Eagles won another football game when they weren't supposed to win a football game. And
I think you're good. Yeah, keep going.
That shows
Sorry.
Champions are champions. That's okay, Baron. We're here for you. So, but Eagles are 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
2 bad games.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this. Good teams versus great teams. Good teams win football games. Great teams win football games, and win football games are not supposed to. And I think the Eagles probably were supposed to win that football game, but they have found ways which they can easily point at if they lose and be like, that's why we lost, and they still find ways to win. And so that's why, me personally, we're talking about it, I think, before, maybe right during it, but the Eagles are still 11.5.
Mm-hmm.
That I see them winning those football games playing poorly. Imagine if they play well. Like, imagine if Jalen Hurts plays well. So Jalen Hurts has played horrible to start the season, and yet they're still 2-0. And that shows you a team that, in my opinion, is the NFC favorite and are going to win a lot of football games.
Very well said. Sorry for my technical difficulties. Now, I'm going to start with the positives. Zadarius Smith looked really good for coming in this week, being an older guy. We needed some edge depth. I think he looked very good to go alongside Nolan Smith and rotate in with Jalen Hunt. I think he helps fill a need in that area. I would say Vic Fangio is in contention for Coordinator of the Year again this year. I think he and Steve Spagnuolo have cases for the 2 best defensive coordinators in the league right now. I don't know who the Packers is, but you could probably throw his name in there as well at this point. But yeah, without him, we would have lost that game easily yesterday. And shout out the rookies. Andrew Makuba had the play of the game, interception in the end zone, great heads-up play. I know he wasn't like a great read by him, but he was there in the right time, and he made the play when it counted. So shout out him. And Jahad Campbell looked very good. That was not roughing the passer. Don't let that get on top of you. Now, let's talk about the and I wanted to also shout out Jalen Hurts. No turnovers. That's all that's really the main thing. If you don't turn the ball over with this, if the Eagles don't turn the ball over, they're going to win the game. So shout out to him for that. That was good. Now, the negatives. I'm not calling for a firing yet, despite what I was talking about earlier. But officially, I'm not calling for a firing yet. It's week 2. But Kevin Patullo has to step it up. And you're going to hear every Eagles fan across the internet talk about this for the next week or until something changes. But, I mean, it feels like Brian Johnson has come back to haunt us. I mean, It's another internal promotion for a first-time offensive coordinator who has no idea how to scheme plays down the field. I mean, you can go back and look at the broadcast. You even had Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt pointing out, yeah, Jalen Hurts has been in the pocket for 5 seconds and no one has been open. Like, that's a problem. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I know Dallas Goedert was out, but that's a problem, I think. Again, I know I don't think, and many people will say that it's ridiculous to say the Eagles have the best offense on paper in the league. I think it's a problem that you can't scheme guys open downfield. And yeah, I'm in the past I would say, oh, this is Nick Sirianni who can't, he doesn't know how to call plays, but I think he's learned his lesson and just lets the coordinators kind of do their thing because he knows he's not the best at this. But I honestly would like to see him step in and relieve Kevin Patullo of some of his duties because I know at least Nick Sirianni knows how to scheme wide receivers down the field. He played wide receiver. So I just want some diversity. Again, you can't just throw screen passes and slants and curls. I mean, A.J. Brown ran 2 routes concepts the entire game. It was a slant or a go, so take your poison. And yeah, I think it was just bad play calling from beginning to end. And it was not great against the Cowboys. I think everyone kind of excused it because it was the first game of the season, first new play caller. Everyone's getting the jitters out, yada, yada. But yeah. We don't have the luxury to start slow. I feel like we just played the Super Bowl rematch. We barely won. Now we got to play the Rams next week, who's probably going to be a playoff team. I don't know who we have week 4, but I know that's another going to be a difficult game. So he's got to figure this out, and he's had all off season. So, but yeah, no, this feels like Brian Johnson all over again, and Adoree Jackson needs to be executed.
All right, well, there you go. All I'll say is y'all got the job done. That's what good teams do. So I would say you definitely know you still have the talent.
Yeah, but it feels like it's 2023 all over again.
Hopefully it is because I don't want to see y'all win the Super Bowl.
I do.
Anyways, let's bounce to
Sunday night.
Let's go, baby. Come on.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay. Would you have won that game with Young Ho Koo?
I think so.
Okay. I do as well.
I think Young Ho Koo makes the ones inside 40. Parker Roma, by the way, he scared me because even those inside 40s, he was like just going past like above the upright or just sneaking it in. I'm like, yo, calm down. I need some security in my life. And then we line it for like a 53-yarder. I'm like, yeah, GG's. And he just nails it. I'm like, all right, good. But good win, good defensive win, and good rookie wins.
Yeah. Your defense looked insane.
Jalen Pierce Jr. sack. Jalen Walker full sack. Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman, both the rookies, get an interception. And we had 6 sacks as a team. We had our most sacks in a half since 2018. You got to realize we are the worst defensive line in the NFL in the last 10 years easily. I mean, our last 10 sack guy was Vic Beasley in 2016, and we've been last in sacks since 2020 by like 30 or like 31 sacks, and like the second last team had 31 more sacks than us. So we've been bad. So it was great to see that. Although I've had to tell the Falcons fans I've talked to today, take this game not with a grain of salt, with a bag of salt, because our offense didn't look good against a Brian Flores defense. The first touchdown of the game was in the fourth quarter, and the Vikings are led by a quarterback who has had 1 good quarter in his career so far, 7 bad ones, 1 good one, and their offensive line has second and third stringers in 3 out of 5 positions. So we need to calm it down a little bit. Let's go take business in Carolina when we play them this upcoming week. Just calm it down, take the momentum, and move. But I'm happy to see us grab a victory where we looked very solid defensively. That has been a rarity to see in the last 10 years.
Yeah, no, it was a good showing for sure. Yeah, I think there's going to be an exciting season over in Atlanta. I just kind of realized we never really talked about the Chiefs, did we?
I personally want the Chiefs to take Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins. You've heard that from multiple times. I'm going to keep saying that. But here's my thing. I am actually, as someone that, again, a lot of people don't root for the Chiefs. Don't blame you. I am still confident in the Chiefs. I still am. You know, in my opinion, if they can go 2-4, if they can get 2-2 in the next couple weeks, I'll pull up the schedule. I know they play the Giants on Sunday night, and I like them to win that football game. I like them to beat. I like them to beat them.
Yeah, they do
And
have a tough few games coming up, though. My thing is this, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, because
I see. Look. They got the Giants and the Jags away. And those are both on prime time.
yeah.
I think they can do that.
And
They play the Ravens and the Lions at
Lions.
home. I don't think they win either of those games, but those are games that they could steal. I think they could steal.
They could beat the Lions.
They could beat the
If
Lions.
their defense, again, we'll see. Yeah, that could be a coin toss. We'll wait and see. But
those games, right?
mm-hmm.
You go 2-2, you're 2-4. Now you probably get Xavier Worthy back
yeah.
the next in 3 weeks, maybe. And then maybe in 2, but probably 3. And then you get Rashee Rice after week 6. Mahomes finally got his options.
That's true.
Right?
How do you feel about those? How do you feel about those warm up shirts though?
For a guy that almost killed a couple families,
it wasn't. That was ridiculous.
Let's not talk about freeing someone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I think I'm not on the Chiefs or out of the playoffs bandwagon. I still think they can easily make the playoffs.
Now, I agree with everything you're saying, and I'm not gonna if they're 0-4, then we can start talking about it's over. Yeah. But like
I
you
even
said,
think if they lose to the Giants, we're gonna start talking a little bit.
I mean, if Russell Wilson has a game like he did against the Cowboys,
I don't think so.
We'll see. We'll wait and see. But yes, they got Andy Reid, they got Patrick Mahomes, Steve Spagnuolo. The three of them can get some stuff done. So we'll wait and see. But I don't know if they're gonna. They might. I agree with you. They're probably still gonna make the playoffs, but it might be a wild card this year. I don't know if they win that division.
I don't know if they do either.
Because right now they're in last place. But yeah, let's move on. We just kind of forgot to talk about them. Real quick, the Vikings. I want to make a couple points. Or not really a couple points. Mainly one question is because, like you said, because J.J. McCarthy went down towards the end of that game. He's going to be out for a while. And the great Carson Wentz is going to be stepping in. So everyone will finally get to see that Carson Wentz to Justin Jefferson connection as it always should have been. But if Carson Wentz comes in and plays pretty well, let's just assume that with Jordan, or when does Jordan Addison come back? Sorry.
He comes back after this week.
Yeah, that's right. So so if he plays well with Justin Jefferson and then carries into the next game, they play well with Jordan Addison and that. At what point do you realize? I mean, this Vikings team, every position besides the quarterback's kind of built to win now. I don't really know why they're going with a rookie quarterback. I mean, like you said, J.J. McCarthy has played one good quarter of football in 2 games. At what point do you be like, all right, dude, we got to win now, and we don't have time to really wait around on you? I feel like that's gonna become a discussion towards the end of the year.
That offensive line is beat up.
It's true.
Which does not help. Does not help at all.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like you said, they didn't come into the season beat up against the Bears. He played one good game. He played one good half.
Their left tackle out from last season.
I guess that's true.
So when he comes back, that's a big addition. But yeah, this has been an interesting start for the Vikings.
Actually, this is such an interesting scenario because, I mean, you got Justin Jefferson, who's going on year 6 of his career. I mean, I just feel like that's the star offensive player. You look at the defense as well. I just feel like, this is a team that's built to compete for Super Bowls now, and they don't really have the luxury or time to wait around for a rookie quarterback to develop because, like you said, through 2 games, he does not look like a NFL-ready quarterback right now. This looks like it's going to be a long-term project, and I'm just interesting. I find it very interesting to see how that'll all play out. Now, let's move on to the Monday night games. Texans Buccaneers. That was a close game, but Baker Mayfield gets it done in the clutch.
He's that guy, man.
Yes, he is. Let him cook.
He got it done.
Yes, he did. Yeah. To me, I know you're not gonna like to hear this, but that's their division to lose still. I think they're going to be representing the NFC South in the playoffs. But I can see the Falcons making a push towards the end of the year. But that Buccaneers team looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean,
they played kind of like the Eagles. They played
honestly,
a kind of sloppy game.
I still agree. This is their division that they need to slip up a little bit in order to drop it. But it's a two-horse race for this division, as it was expected to be. Some people in Carolina running it up a little bit. I did not, and it looks like it's going to be that way. And you're right. I still think this is one for Tampa Bay to drop more than the Falcons win. But the Falcons, you can't count them out right now.
No, not at all.
Building, and they had a good win. They have a tough first 5 games, and if they can come out of those first 5 games 3-2, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, I would say the Buccaneers did not play a great game last night and still found a way to win at the end of it. So, like you said, good teams win ugly games. Texans. The offensive line is horrid. Now, how much of that is affecting C.J. Stroud's play, I don't really know anymore.
They have no run game.
That as well.
Zero run game, and it's all because of offensive line. It is so tough for C.J. Stroud, in my opinion. So much different than his rookie year. So they needed offensive line bad. Because when you have a guy like C.J. Stroud, he's not a runner.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a pocket passer, maybe even sometimes has the improvisation.
And he's getting killed.
He doesn't have the wear and tear to keep getting murdered like this behind the line.
Yeah. So we'll see how their season goes, but it's probably not going to be good at this rate. So, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. So I had an exam first thing this morning, so I did not stay awake to watch the 10 p.m. start for Chargers Raiders. So I don't know if you watched it, but
I did.
Okay, so you take it away because I don't know anything that happened.
So I think it's just fun to talk about. My bookie put $100 free play, threw it on Chargers money line. There we go, made some money.
Perfect.
But Chargers are a run-first offense, and oh boy, I'm a little scared for that run-first offense. I am more scared for the Raiders, though.
Let me see. I have Amari and Hampton in fantasy. Keep going. I just want to look.
Ashton Genty,
Mm-hmm.
from the place he gets in the open field, he looks nice. But the amount of times he gets in the open field is all scary.
Not a good game.
It wasn't a good game against the Patriots. It was not a good game against the Chargers. 2 straight bad games. I'm starting to question it a little bit, and I'm getting scared about the Raiders' run offense too. It was a game where the run offense just didn't look like it was that good at all, and Najee Harris looked a little better running the football than Amari and Hampton. So, but most importantly, Chargers defense, good job. Did really well containing Geno Smith. Did really well containing the run. You give up 9 points, you're solid. So they've done 2-0, in my opinion. Chiefs, Raiders, not dirt offenses at all. And they've done well. So Chargers 2-0. Favorites to win the AFC West? Yep. I think they're now the favorites to win the AFC West. So I like them. They're good. I forgot who they play this upcoming week, but they're good.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that next episode. But is there anything you would like to add or tackle, or one last little thought for the viewers before we sign off here?
Yes, I would love to, actually.
Let's hear
Aaron,
it.
I want to pose a little end of podcast question. We've talked so much about Tyreek Hill and how much we want him to get traded. I think we both want the Chiefs, but is there anybody else on the teams that you want to see get traded? And if you have a name or team in mind, I would love to hear. And I can go first if you need to think.
Let's hear yours.
I'll take the floor. And it's just easier to come to because I'm a fan of the team. But the Atlanta Falcons have Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. We all know the spectacle of Kirk Cousins. Should he get traded? Is he just going to be a backup in case something fails for Penix and be a fail-safe? I think he should be traded. And there are already notable QB injuries in the league. Now, Joe Burrow has grade 3 turf toe, and he might be out. He's out for 3 months. He might be out for the season because that is a bad injury. That is one where you have to stabilize it and not move it for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kirk Cousins to the Bengals is a good shout. I really think it is. And I think he should move to the Bengals. I think the Bengals should make a move on him.
Okay.
Of course, I think they probably need the Falcons to eat some of that contract, but they should give up a little bit to go get Kirk Cousins and capitalize on a 2-0 start for the first time in a long time.
See,
Capitalize on a 2-0 start.
I like the thought process, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of this, but if I'm the Bengals GM, because I'm assuming in order to get Kirk Cousins, you're going to have to probably give up a 3rd-round pick, something like that.
Ooh, maybe not even.
Well, I guess if you're getting Atlanta to eat a lot of the contract.
Yeah.
Still, I would still probably save and invest in the Bengals season without Joe Burrow, we all know, is over. The defense is putrid. Their offensive line is horrendous. I would honestly, if Joe Burrow is out for the season, I'd just call the season and try and get a better draft pick, be in a better draft situation to maybe fix that offensive line or at least trade for better offensive linemen. What I like for Kirk Cousins, actually, is the Minnesota reunion. Like I said,
he's only out 2 to 4 weeks, though.
I know. But let's say Carson Wentz doesn't look good. And that J.J. McCarthy, let's also assume that he's going to be out the full 4. Like we said, this is a Vikings team that is built to win now. If you could trade a 3rd or a 4th, that pick's not as valuable to the Vikings as it is to the Bengals. You get a guy with Kirk Cousins who has chemistry with play calling, with the guys on the field, and who's probably got enough left to get you where you're trying to go. I like that move a lot more than I would think for the Bengals. But we'll wait and see. I'm trying to think. Another one, I was about to say, my hopeful one, if we're talking about bias, I hope that the Browns realize that Denzel Ward is valuable and ship him off to the Eagles for something because, God, I hated Dory Jackson so much.
Another quarterback one for the Bengals. Jameis Winston's a 3rd stringer.
I think he is for a reason.
No, but he can go in there and win football games.
Yeah.
He can. He might. Well, Jake Browning threw 3 picks and they still won. Jameis Winston is a better passer than Jake Browning. That's a fact. Come on, a guy who's thrown over 5,000 yards in one season. This was a couple years ago, but you still saw. Remember with the Browns, and he had some great plays with the Browns last year.
See, the Bengals.
He's QB3 because it's Russell Wilson and because a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, but the Bengals also signed 2 quarterbacks today, so I just feel like
I know, but
I feel like they're not trading for a quarterback.
They signed Sean Clifford
and Mike White.
One other person,
Mike White. Yeah, to me, it seems like they're just calling the season, and they're trying to get in better draft position.
You can't call the season at 2-0. You need to go make a play at 2-0. You need to. This is the last. I mean, you just got Trey Hendrickson on a deal. You did. You got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You need to go do something.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I just think like this is it.
I'm telling you, they're going to do something.
All right, we'll see, but it's not going to work. That team's doing nothing without Joe Burrow.
All right, but I like it. I like them to go do something in the market for a QB that's actually decent. That actually is proven.
We'll see what happens then.
We'll see. Anything else you want to add?
I'm good.